think that guy on your screen right there, Solo, has been one of the outstanding performers for them. Top lane, definitely a strength.
It's been interesting to feel like the rest of Fox has been relatively consistent. I mean, maybe a player like Rush is someone that was woefully inconsistent in his split back here and now has gotten a lot better and seems like to be playing a bit more with the team. And it is Solo that's standing out, which is surprising. And if Broken Blade's looking not up to the form that he certainly was in finals, Echo Fox have already picked up one surprise win versus TL. Could be another potential one here versus TSM.
Definitely could be an area for focus. Aurelia, possible champion for that lane, already off the ban table here. Echo Fox taking away some of those flexible picks from TSM.
Olaf also starting to pick up bans, actually seen a lot of that this weekend, and Sona will be banned on the TSM side to break up potential Sona Taric. And there's Camille, another champion we've actually seen back in a solo lane already in the LCS.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of the mid laners, and they really love playing Camille now. They're like, it's vengeance for all these junglers that were playing Camille for months and months and camping mid lane with their hook shots. Now the mid laners have gotten a crack at it. Really popular in solo queue into some matchups. Yeah, you usually want something like a Sejuani, and you usually want it to be into a bruiser, more of a counter pick, but not going to be available here for Yusui.
Well, interesting that Rise and Silas round out the last two bans here, so that means Aatrox is open, and Solo, best performing member on Echo Fox so far this split, gonna get one of the best champions.
It is a juicy champion. Aatrox, everyone's loving the new self-healing that you get with the ultimate. You got resets with the ultimate now as well, so it's a huge teamfight presence. It's also fairly strong lane.
And Yuumi left open as well.
Speaking of strong lane, FaceTime. Have you had some time playing Yuumi at all yet? Because it is fairly fun.
It is really fun. Not fun for your opponents generally, which is the mark of a fun, the most fun champion.
It's definitely a very poke-heavy lane. And with Echo Fox leaving that up, you know, banning the Rise with their last ban there instead, and leaving the possibility to TSM to take it out, and not first picking it themselves, I'm very curious to see what their answer is to the Yuumi lane, because people have been so outspoken. The poke is oppressive. It's so annoying with the zoomies later on, healing so much, jumping on and off people, getting your shields, blocking skill shots. But, you know, we'll see if the weaknesses can be exposed as far as a little bit less agency in getting your own wards down. The Nautilus is a great support pick into Yuumi if you're going to go for those kills, right? If they say, okay, you're going to be the squishy poke champion, well, the counter to poke is always hard engage, and you have to bring jungle pressure to really make that happen usually. We'll see if they can do it in the 2v2.
Sivir also a pretty stable pick there in the lane, so we'll see how TSM do in the next phase of bans actually, because already Lucian picked up here for Sven, so pretty aggressive 2v2 lane on the TSM side.
Yeah, Lucian very, very mobile here, so I do like this kind of answer. If Nautilus wants to hard engage on you, make it more difficult. Lucian, very mobile champion, can dash away, dodge some of those anchors when Echo Fox are looking for the all-ins on the Yuumi lane. If you avoid the all-in, then it will be very, very difficult to gain ground in the lane.
And first ban is actually Sejuani, so Rush gonna lose that tank jungler there, who's been, again, very popular in the opening weeks here of LCS. Echo Fox have banned LeBlanc and kicked it back over to TSM of one final ban here for this draft.
All right, let's see if they continue with some more jungler focus here. Neither team picking up that role yet, so they're just kind of whittling down the pool as far as other things that can work well. You know, with the Aatrox on top side would be super scary. Taking out the Skarner on the back of it, having another point and click hard CC. Nautilus ultimate is already great for locking down whoever Yuumi is on, but if you have Skarner on top of it, then you stun them and you get to pull them back, and you get kind of 2 kills for 1. It's probably the best part about playing against Yuumi. When you do kill the person that she's on, then you get a kind of a pinata effect, and you get to kill another champion that pops right out.
Also J4 ban there by Echo Fox, the jungle pool continuing to get thinned out here. Let's see what TSM have lined up for their 4th pick. Hecarim's been popular for the team, but still 10 seconds or so for them to decide.
I do like playing, so a lot of junglers I think work super well with Yuumi. I have had a bunch on my team. Hecarim is definitely one because you can make use of the move speed offensively also for going in, and the ultimates combine really, really well. Another one, of course, are the invisible junglers, but I'll come down the table here. So we'll see how the Yuumi does get passed around. A lot of these champions are very can make very good use of what he
Ooh.
brings.
All right, so I think the theme of hard engage is continuing here for Echo Fox. Nocturne drafted there in the 4th spot, and then Rumble to round things out.
And I like that. When you draft a bunch of hard engage and you commit to dive compositions with a first pick Aatrox, all these picks for Echo Fox after the first pick are really bolstering, and you're trying to play around this champion that has such a strong kit that people are very fearful of right now with the reset ultimates. If you have Sivir Speed, the Nautilus and Nocturne ultimates going to force this fight, then you should be able to get that kill. And once Aatrox can get a reset off of that kill, that is how you try and get through. But last minute counter here coming in, pastry time.
Always
dive
the
comp
Bjergsen
counter
Zillion.
will be the Zillion. Bjergsen, one of his oldest and finest champions.
Well, certainly one that he's looked good on, and this comp has worked with Hecarim in the lineup, so I like what TSM have put together here. Broken Blade should have a decent matchup, although not the Aatrox he may have expected, because Echo Fox are actually flexing that to mid lane here. Just continuing to add to the power of that champion. You can play it in 3 roles in the top half of the map. I think some are more desirable than others, but it is a champion you can move around as well.
All right, let's see if we'll get a change in the look from TSM as well, as they have not focused on the top side of the map as much in the previous split. And now Broken Blade has the Kennen into Rumble matchup that we've already seen previously.
I think we're certainly looking for both these teams to look a little bit cleaner on the Rift, but I do feel like Echo Fox at least have given themselves the ease of execution when it comes to their team comp. Everyone just kind of presses their ultimate, preferably on the same target, and things generally go well from there. TSM on the other side, I mean, Yuumi for all her power, very difficult to navigate in, especially in hectic team fights.
Definitely true. See if that bottom lane does get attacked. Nocturne level 6 will be one thing they have to worry about. Nocturne level 6 at a similar timing there could spell doom.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Teams are going to line up. TSM looking for a win here over the weekend. Both teams, again, have had pretty rough starts for the opening weeks here in the LCS, but they can only be won today as Fox and TSM will do battle.
And this is going to be the Ignite Hecarim that we've seen a lot in high-rated solo queue, especially in North America. Goes really, really powerful in the early game. Ignite definitely a very powerful early game summoner spell because it lets you have that extra bit of true damage for your all-ins. Also makes it very scary for Hecarim going for invades. Nocturne does not have a very reliable way to get out if he does find himself in that 1v1. And they're going for an invade here. Rush going to be able to find that ward with the sweeper. So a little bit of extra experience here. They want to share it with Yusui to be able to get those solo laners that extra oomph. Rush also starting spell shield on the bomb.
So it's managed to dodge that one out. Here's the missile coming out. Gonna pop onto Rush, and Comet will proc.
Spell Thief's in action.
That's true. Already some gold. Lane is 1. Yuumi already off to a good start here as Rush gonna move down to the red half of his jungle.
All right, we got a lot of early action. Ward kill and some Spell Thief's proc. Look at that. 10 extra gold on both Rumble and Nocturne. 11 for the Yuumi.
Easy stuff there at Broken Blade and solo. Waiting out, maybe hoping the other walks through a silly way through the lane. But it looks like, again, red started here as Lost and Hakuo full leash here for Rush. And Grig on the other side, no leash on the Raptors to kick things off.
Now, we actually haven't seen Nocturne in quite a while in professional play especially. I really thought it was a jungler that would return when the Scuttle Crabs got delayed. So you can go with the hard farm, clear all of your camps, try and get to level 6 as quickly as possible strategy without giving up as much in the neutral territory. So I do expect him to do kind of the reverse clear now that he's done red down to Krugs, back up through the rest of the camps, and just try and get your camps respawning as quickly as possible. If you get your red side camps respawning very quickly, that is the fastest way to level 6.
Yeah, it might be pretty quiet for both these junglers actually, as they're looking to get those ultimates online to really pick off the ganking potential. As you can see, those Vent and Smoothie playing aggressive as they should be here in the lane, and Lost no access to Spell Shield just yet, so has to kind of just sit back and let the lane push in.
Yep, walks out of range of the harassment from Yuumi here. Sven and Smoothie making good early use of it. Nautilus can't really go for those all-ins quite yet. Need a little bit more access to the rest of his kit.
Also note Smoothie with Exhaust and Heal. We see a lot of different summoner spell mix-ups, but nothing overly aggressive. As you mentioned, it's more of a poke lane there in bottom anyway.
Yep, gonna have a lot of answers for those all-ins. So instead of the Ignite heal, does have the Exhaust there. If the Nautilus does find it eventually when the ultimate comes online. like covering your bases. Smoothie here going for a deep ward too on the Krug, so they'll have the timer on that second respawn. And again, that was the first small camp that Rush cleared, so it's always 2.5 minutes for the respawn of it, and they should have timing on that ward to survive until they get to see the next pass here from Rush. So that one gonna provide a decent amount of value. Hako getting the shield off there, blocks most of the damage.
Yep, again, doesn't look pretty, but just have to kind of play against the poke as best you can, and so far doing well trading off their respective shields.
Mid lane looks to be the target. Hecarim, Grig here is waiting behind.
Yasui gets a chain and gets a flash out of the deal, but now a 2v2 gonna brew. Grig goes in onto Yasui, but Conqueror gonna proc back for the Aatrox.
Yeah, I pushed him there a little bit with the E as the Hecarim charged through, so Bjergsen's second bomb doesn't land. You kind of need to coordinate that. Either let the second bomb force a flash or land and get your stun, or try and E past them and knock them back to allow it a little bit easier of a setup. Not the most perfect coordination there, but you can see synergy later in the game with the Zilean Hecarim, when Zilean can speed up the Hecarim. Just come through lane. Lane ganks are actually quite effective here, as you can try and speed past your target and then knock them back with the E, then go for your double bombs.
Like we mentioned with ease of execution though, lots of things can potentially go wrong between Zilean Bomb and Yuumi positioning, so TSM gonna have to be really clean around the mid game as they look to try and fight it out, but so far so good in the bottom lane. Zveng with a massive CS lead as Lost is trying to clear out this wave. We'll get a lot of it, but still gonna be 10 behind as the next wave is already crashing in.
Yep, going very heavy on the harassment here. Let's see if they look for the all-in, because Rush has made his way down to the bottom. There's a ward in the Tribe Rush, but if Hako could set something up here, they might be able to get a summoner spell and make TSM's bottom lane play a little bit safer. Rush looks like he will possibly go for this. Good warding from the TSM duo, though. Have one up in the front brush as well, and I don't think Echo Fox saw them place it. It was probably placed while they were just in the brush themselves and had brush control, so Echo Fox couldn't communicate it, and that allows the TSM duo to bait a lot of this pressure here, and a good move by Sven, just backing off. They are wasting Rush's time.
Yep, just timed out, so now Rush knows what was going on there in the brush, but TSM going to be back to pushing as they'll spot Rush, also pathing out through the tri-bush there. So Grig going to ward up the Drake. Always nice to get an early Ocean. Grig actually will start it by the looks of things.
Might be just going for a ward over the back there to get a little bit deeper vision. Sometimes you can get vision on another pathway down to that bottom side of the map. You really want to keep your wards for the Yuumi lane at all times so that they don't get completely ganked here. You can see that all of that effort there that has been put in. Consistent wards from the junglers, from the Yuumi itself, everything to try and keep this TSM duo on the bot side playing aggressively. And you can see the rewards already. Sven is up significantly here on the Lucian in CS with the Yuumi harass going down the entire time.
Rush does find the control ward and take it out though. So Grig with the Scry's Bloom going to also do some clearing of his own. Rush going to make the Dragon angry, and Grig is going to take a bit of harass.
I do like this though. It really does highlight the importance of defending your vision. Step number one is put the vision down, yes. But I see so many teams just walk away from all their control wards. They just spend a good amount of money and time placing. TSM trying to actually defend it there and go for the Scuttle Crab Smite fight, won by Grig.
Yep. Rush did have Smite, but not able to win the fight there, even though Hako roamed up to try and maybe contest. Yasui also pretty consistently getting the lane pushed in mid. In fact, they've both gone back for some early buys, but TPs are still ready. So I think very much respecting the global pressure there that they want to put out, because again, so much attention has gone bot lane that wouldn't be too surprised to see 4 people TP down there if a fight did break out.
Definitely possible. Top laners still holding onto their teleports, all walking back to lane here. And the ultimates that you talk about for the top side of the map are very big mid-game AP AoE ultimates. So huge team fight impact for whichever of those top laners arrives first. Giant Cannon, sweeping ultimates, or Rumble will have such a big effect on these Dragon setups.
Broken Blade though continuing to get things shoved in. Actually down 10 CS surprisingly. Solo doing a nice job there with effectively his counter pick as they were able to flex the Aatrox in, and already finished the 1,500-ish gold items between the guys and the Cutlass, so Broken Blade should be fine. Just wants to push in and contain the Rumble, and Solo, if he can, will poke when appropriate.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about Rumble, why we're seeing so much more now, was the buff previously to the Scrap Shield. And it does help a lot in matchups like this, where you can get it off, absorb a lot of the harassment that will come down, and gives you that extra speed. He's never had a problem, AoE holding these minions here, with the flamethrower, but the extra safety with the shield can go a very long way.
Yeah, gone are the days where Rumble could just perma-Q into a Maokai and have the lane be A-OK. Certainly a lot of more aggressive champions in the solo lanes here. But bottom lane still being held 20 CS almost now for Sven. Getting a little ugly, actually.
Yeah, look how far back Lost has to play. His Nautilus is not there. Has to be very, very worried about a possible gank. We're going to take this opportunity, drops the control ward, and immediately starts the dragon because, as you can see on your mini-map, once again, they actually got sight of Grig on this ward right here while he was by the blue buff. That's why they made a beeline for the dragon. That deep ward, which I believe was placed by Broken Blade, allows them to jump on the dragon. That information and that timing, even though there's no kill in this play, well, maybe not.
Final tough to pop, but Lucian already getting low. Rush gonna dive in there. Oh, over the wall, still follows, but the spell it may be enough to keep him alive. Rush, he's gonna get himself first blood, but lost over the top already. Burnt both sums to try and get the next kill.
And what a Rush play that is. So close. He does get the first blood, so he's rewarded for going over the wall there with Sven. Thought that the barrier from Sven was going to bait him in. You could see kind of the idea there. You wait and you take the Nocturne over with you and try and kill him in the 3v1, essentially. That is over the wall with your barrier bait, but it's not enough. Even with the Yuumi on top of Sven, he does end up going down. Let's take a look at how it landed. Hakuo finds the hook to initially start it out. They get him so low. And with the barrier, with the Yuumi shield there, trying to get back off and then get back on. Early on, the cooldown is there for jumping back onto champions. But Sven did go down barely before, so first blood reward for the Nocturne, for Rush. He invests it very quickly into his warrior and a little bit of extra health for himself. Meanwhile, the counter kill goes over to the Hecarim, which is quite big. Grig here also able to get his own warrior, so both junglers quite happy with where that money went.
Nice preview of the Echo Fox game plan. I imagine we'll see that a lot as they do manage to grab first blood, but Gold's going to stay dead even, actually, as Solo going to get this lane pushed back up. Broken Blade, though, happy to just reverse the wave slowly but surely. Solo lying in wait, but I think just to harass, because we can see that there's no jungler around to potentially force the play on top side, and both teams have been very heavily playing around the bottom half of the map. Ooh, gonna make a go of it though. Solo does force a flash.
Yeah, take the camera away for a second, and then 80% of Broken Blade's health is gone. Just from the Rumble ultimate, and Solo moving up for the all-in there. Gets the flash and a significant chunk of health.
Also Grig visiting mid lane, ready with his own ultimate, and of course Zillion for any potential tower dive. Aatrox does not get a res if he can't get a takedown, so
exactly.
Certainly a lot easier of a champion to try and tower dive.
All right, let's see here. Once again, the bottom lane, definitely the focus. With the extra Ocean Drake as well, makes them feel a lot more secure. You can just back off whenever you don't have vision of the Nocturne. Russia's just prowling around right now on the bottom half of the map with the Nocturne ultimate ready, but now it is Grig that makes the first visit here. Yep. Let's see if the Zoomies synergy will actually take effect.
I wonder how often you notice that Yuumi is not attached to Lucian, but Grig gonna hang out in the fog of war and be patient here for this play. Sven just trying to deny off, but can't quite get the cannon to die. That's Smoothie gonna clear that out, and Rush has decided, you know what? Bottom half, not so fun right now. Gonna go ahead and do the Rift Herald there with Solo.
It's definitely very, very suspicious whenever the Yuumi is not right next to Lucian. So wait a second, your whole goal is to just poke out in lane. You're extremely slow, you don't have boots, you have double combat summoners. So if you're missing, you're probably on another member of the team. Likely going to be the Hecarim, and the bottom lane for Echo Fox does back off while they take the Rift Herald on the top side of the map. So that is an objective win for Echo Fox this time around. Dragon advantage to TSM, now Rift Herald in the hands of Rush.
Let's see what Rush does. Drop it as Hakuo looking for the hook, but can't quite clip Sven. First tower still on the table, and plates are up for a minute 20 still. So certainly some investments can be made if the Rift Herald will get channeled. Looks like right now Rush is going top side. because Sol's been pushing in, but here's Grig. Potential 2v2 gonna brew as the Equalizer comes in, but there's a huge amount of damage back in a rush. He's gonna get burnt down there. Grig used the ulti to get out of the way, and Yasui now here trying to force something, but Bjergsen's TP'd in. Gonna get harassed down by Solo, but this is a 2v3 right now for Echo Fox. Stun there, gonna land in onto the Rumble. Grig gonna keep fighting it out as Broken Blade did eat the chain, but Solo probably gonna be forced to flash away. They do get the Zillion ulti out. They actually may be able to fight their way out here as Umbral Dash gets Yasui back over the ridge.
That was one of the cleanest skirmishes that we have seen from TSM all summer. Really nicely played right there, utilizing the cooldowns very, very effectively. Grig able to go in, gets the kill onto Rush because Broken Blade starts the storm, immediately gets the stun, and then Grig still has his ultimate on the Hecarim to get back out, so there's no counter kill from Echo Fox. And they even turned it around and kept up the pressure there with Bjergsen's Zillion teleport. Meanwhile, though, that does mean Yasui, since he didn't back, pushed a wave into the tower in mid lane, while Broken Blade is doing the same on top side.
Nice play overall as bottom lane Hakuo, Smoothie, and Sven all hanging out. Rushes back down to this side of the map, but doesn't have his ulti after using it top lane. So I think Lost is just going to be trying to get maximum value out of this Essence Reaver and just keep the waves away from the turret.
All right, let's take another look at this. Echo Fox look like they have a pretty good opening on Broken Blade here, who has no flash, by the way. This is such a juicy target, but they get completely outplayed. The ultimate goes down, Stasis is then popped, Grig ults out, buying time for Bjergsen to come in, and then Bjergsen baited in the Rumble, but now there's a Dragon fight!
Drake fight there, Grig gonna grab the Drake, final chance to pop there, but doesn't really get any roots landing. Sven is low on the other side, but does dash out to safety. Echo Fox can't get the Drake and can't get kills either.
Yep. Look at the replay over here now. Poof, the dragon's been stolen. TSM have Ocean Drake #2, and Broken Blade has also slipped into this control ward side rush.
Does have his ulti, Rift Herald channel mid there for Rush, gonna try and at least get the first turret. But Broken Blade will have to keep an eye out. The Rift Herald does charge in. Gonna need a bit more help though to take down the rest of the turrets. So with two melee champions here in mid lane, not so easy against the Zillion to take that down.
Yeah, it's always so sad when the Rift Herald goes off after turret plates are already gone. So you do get a big chunk of damage, and mid turret is the place that you want to take down first, so you can really open up the jungle and start to have some more area to work with, especially since you have a Nocturne on your team. Gives you more area to threaten with the ultimate, but they don't get any immediate value out of it. And that is going to be pretty much just Dragon advantage there for TSM with a small extra gold.
Yeah, Two Oceans pretty nice. If you thought Yuumi was frustrating before, gonna be even nicer there for Smoothie. He's attached to Grig currently. Rush, so pop an ulti, it's top side. They're actually gonna focus here. Into Broken Blade, ulti goes down, so try to finish up the kill. Does get it, and Rush gets out as well.
Oh yeah, Rush has to use his flash there. He does get out before the other turret shard comes in. And this time, Echo Fox do get their kill onto the top side. They complete it before any sort of reinforcements can start to come from TSM. So this is going to be top side push for Echo Fox, bottom side push for TSM, because that is now their strong side of the map, and Grig's actually inside the jungle.
Not safe, they can't see. Now they'll get the bad news. Lost gonna pop the ulti, but Bjergsen trying to cut him off. Gonna have to fight his way out of there, but there's so many TSM members surrounding him, and Grig just ults over the wall for the killing spree.
Yep, Echo Fox used top side 3 members, so TSM know they've got control of the bottom side, and Echo Fox, they walk back through their own jungle, which is no longer their own territory, meaning that TSM will find the counter kill. Grig on the Hecarim now 3-0 in the jungler swaps here. Grig continually having these Hecarim games that seem to be working out quite well for themselves.
For a champion that often builds Trinity Force, which is very expensive. Nice for Grig to have that extra income, but we've played lots of swapsies here as Yasui on the Broken Blade, a huge amount of damage, but Grig gonna try and shut that all off. No res this time. Grig now on a rampage.
All right, yep, this is gonna be a jungle carry game, pastry time, because Hecarim is juiced. He's got 4 kills now, 400 bounty on top of his head, and 2 members of the team that can give him additional speed, which will be converted into damage via the passive.
Well, Lost and Hakuo are gonna try and keep pushing the mid wave in and maybe get the first turret gold, but other than that, TSM certainly off to a nice start here, up 1,000 gold, and Grig's got the lion's share of it. And as soon as that Triforce gets completed,
yeah, let me see that pretty Triforce, Space G. We don't like to see the junglers going for any sort of tanky items in this type of scenario. Hecarim pretty much, for the last couple months too, in LCS, has always gone Warrior Triforce, so no reason to diverge at all.
Certainly not in this game until he even grabbed the red for himself as well. Almost up to level 11 now for the Hecarim. Even more effective with the rank 2 ulti. Otherwise, map's still pretty small. I mean, there's another Drake up in a minute 25. TSM already have those first 2 Oceans, but it does feel like, given the power of the AP top laners on either side, it really just is one fight here.
Yeah, and I think you have to worry about where's that fight going to take place for Echo Fox on their side. They have to be very scared of this Hecarim. This really just re-emphasized the importance of jungle tracking now through the mid-game. Wherever a Hecarim is, Echo Fox have to respect it. Rush right now does have Nocturne Ultimate at level 11, so he's got the extra reduced cooldown, and they do have counterplay where they can try and counter it, but they have to be so worried about the power of Griggs all in. He hasn't even gone back to spend the money though, I don't think. So he's still just sitting on the phage and not the extra parts of the Trinity Force quite yet.
Yep, staying active on the map here because top outer turret's really low. Have multiple members of TSM collapsing. They maybe try and take it down, but Fox are answering by pushing their duo lane back up from mid lane up to top. So TSM pop back down to the mid lane here as the long extended outer turret dance continues. People really just want that bonus gold.
All right, let's see if they can get it. Echo Fox do have quite a few tools at their disposal. Again, in Champ Select, we were talking about their dive. They have a lot of possibility for single target focus. Hakuo, though, he's the target getting focused. Hooks away to the wall, though, and avoids the Yuumi ult.
Bjergsen, though, able to push down the last little bits of health on the outer turret in bot lane. So TSM and Bjergsen are the ones to collect that bit of bonus gold, continuing to build their lead here. Sivir, pretty good gatekeeper in the mid lane, although Sven continuing to push up aggressively with Smoothie attached. And of course, the Ocean Drake's up. So with the added opening there in the bottom half of the map, TSM will look to continue their supremacy of this objective.
All right, let's see if they can close it, because Broken Blade right now.
Dive on the Broken Blade. It's a good target if they can get it. Depth charge out, and Yasui able to grab the kill. But now Greg looking for the counter engage. Rush, maybe the target here is Hakuo will be slowed by the projectiles. Doesn't quite connect, as TSM might be thinking about re-engaging in a 4v5.
Yeah, a much needed window right there for Echo Fox. Really good usage of the Nocturne ultimate. Rush is able to section off Broken Blade. They catch him while he's trying to rotate over to the rest of the team to the Dragon like you talked about. Regardless, though, TSM still starting up the Dragon, even though they're the ones that gave up the kill, and they can burn it down quick enough. With Aatrox on top side, it looks like Echo Fox are committing to top side, pushing into the tower rather than trying to fight over this Dragon. Without the use of their Nocturne ultimate, without the use of their Aatrox ultimate, they're not going to fight over the objective, as it is now 3 Ocean Drakes. Not the most ideal spread for TSM, but it is supreme Drake control.
Will not save you from the all-in that Echo Fox will be attempting over and over again throughout the mid-game here, but still nice to get some tower gold there as Isui does grab the top outer and even up the score in structures. But Sven continuing to play up here in the mid lane, getting that push through. And looks like 2 items are almost complete for most of these carries. Lost working on Infinity Edge by the looks of things there.
Yeah, I definitely want to get those crits rolling for Sivir. Really nice build is the Essence Reaver into Infinity Edge, and then your Zeal item of choice, depending on how threatened you feel. And that's when the Sivir really starts to take over those team fights. And you kind of highlighted the value of gold here in the mid game goes to really building up this dive comp and their ability to actually kill off the target that they choose to go for. With the Nautilus, Nocturne, and Rumble ultimates all trying to be layered onto a primary target there for Echo Fox. They decided to trade Ocean Drake number 3 for some extra gold from the tower to try and fund that war effort.
So Yasui actually doing decently there. Looks like he's currently the one subscribed to the 1v1 versus Broken Blade. Someone's got to do it. So he's got that Gunblade. Cannon not going to leave the side lane unless he absolutely has to. Solo, though, also getting things split down in the bottom half, so looking to take down the outer turret as well.
I love to see this, too, for Yuumi players. They kind of just, they're fair weather fans. Whoever's the most fed on your team, you just spend a lot more time with that. The last few times that we've seen the map scroll over TSM, it's been Yuumi on Grig, so you can give the extra speed to the Hecarim and try and protect your super fed jungler. Sven now getting some quality time once again with Smoothie. Gets to have his support back for a little bit as they try and go for tower damage.
Well, it's going to clear this up. Decent amount of poke actually onto Smoothie. But again, heals back up, zips away. Dodges out from giving lost a bit of mana with the spell shield. still this kind of central point of control in mid being very small, kind of creating a lot of pushing back and forth.
Good dodge there by Sven. Kind of one of the reasons we went over in Champ Select why they did pick the Lucian versus the Nautilus lane. Meanwhile, we're having some big item completions that do come in. The Death's Dance for Yasui in the Aatrox for the mid lane here. You know, with the extra healing from the ultimate, it is all about trying to find those resets, sustain to that point in the team fight. So I'm very excited to see how the team fight will play out once these two teams do meet up, because even though TSM do have the triple Ocean Drake, they are very close in combat power as far as the gold that has been spent on items. And it's going to be about the timings. Can Bjergsen get one of those game-changing Zillion ultimates down on the focused target? Echo Fox are a dive comp. They're trying to dive on to a member with Nocturne, with the Nautilus, those two single target point and clicks. If Bjergsen can have good positioning and good timing on the ultimate, that can completely negate one of the big strengths. Here we go, though.
Doesn't get that one though. Grig, not a bad target if they can get him 100 to 0, because we can see Bjergsen in the bot lane means that no Zillion ult to save you from potential triple ult all in. Solo though, now gonna have to... Actually looks like he's going back to shop instead, as this game has been pretty slow. I think either both teams know it's probably pretty close. Nobody wants to be the one caught up by a stray Nautilus ultimate or channeling in the wrong Rush, although Rush does escape barely from getting picked off.
And the longer it goes, the more stasis effects that TSM will get to pick up. We already have one Zhonya's completed. That is a huge item for Broken Blade on the Kennen. He's been getting completely focused by Echo Fox over and over, gets burned down. So Kennen with Flash and Zhonya's is a completely different story though. And once Bjergsen is able to get that one as well, it means that the Zillion has that much more safety and the ability to just use the ultimate on someone else on the team in all cases, not really having to worry about his own life as much. And it really makes pulling off dive comps much more difficult when there are a lot of these single target saving items that the enemy team starts to accrue. Here we go though, fighting in the river!
Going in, he actually just finished his Triforce. There's a lot of chapter. Gonna lock down Rush, and they're going back in. Grig with a re-engage. Popsy on Sword of Shadows. Hako into stasis. Broken Blade wants to pop the ulti as well, but Solo with a massive flank. Rumble on his lost is gonna make his way into the backside flank as well. Broken Blade, Yasui trying to go off there on the bottom side. A Smoothie tells Florida, losing Yasui, continuing to get resets. He just needs one more. He will reset now and get some health back, and Echo Fox with the flank, able to find the team fight.
Oh, they go
still, the carries are alive. Sven and Grig can kite it out. Sven especially needs to not get caught. Yasui gonna try and make it happen, and he turns it back around. The chain is dead. Lost with a shutdown, takes down Grig and collects the bounty. And now Sven, the only one left, has to dodge a harpoon, but what a flash from Solo as Fox collect the ace.
Solo is a monster for Echo Fox. TSM found the initiation in the river, but the Rumble ultimate changed everything at the Baron pit, and then they finally chase him down as well. TSM try and get the outplay in a 2v3 scenario, which means Echo Fox will get the Baron.
Everyone back alive after the fight. Rush will run back towards the pit, but I don't think it's going to matter. No spellbook here. A TP in though. Bjergsen with attached Smoothie and Broken Blade behind him. Hakuodo going to find the first catch. Echo Fox needs to turn around and try and find the fight. Rush doesn't have his ulti back off just yet. The Baron also low. Solo going to try and finish it off, but Yasui over the top is going to get caught and cut down by the bomb. And then Broken Blade going to shut down. They managed to get the Baron, but now they got to get out of there. Hakuo is going to run, but Lost gets blown up by the Zillion. There's the final chapter out of Yumi to take down Hakuo as well. Bjergsen's going to finish off that kill. Prowler projectile still going. As Rush going to get tagged. Solo with the ulti to try and disengage, and Fox finally get out with the Baron.
It's a bloodbath pastry time. Ring around the Baron Rosie as well. In the end, Echo Fox still take down the Baron. Yasui running them around the backside. They finish it off, but TSM got the kills. They're gonna kill Rush as well.
Gonna get dove around the side. Rush with a search. Prop is not gonna leave as Grig able to take him down. They'll get 2 turrets out of this as well, as the Baron power play already at negative 1600.
Congratulations, you played yourself. 1600 negative Baron power play there for Echo Fox to see us get all the kills on the outside. We'll have to take stock once again and see how much Echo Fox could get on the push afterwards, but here's a look at how it all started out. They went in on Rush, double ultimates used, popping the Sterix there, then the reinitiation does get Hakuo into the Baron pit and a juicy ult from Broken Blade, but Solo also comes in on the Rumble and is able to get a lot of the cooldowns out of TSM. Yasui, the Aatrox, once they got that kill, getting the reset, you know, Death's Dance healing, it's so so hard to even get the Aatrox down one time, but then they couldn't get him down again as they try to pull off the 2v3. This time around, Yasui's around the back of the Baron pit, runs most of TSM away from the objective, slips back in, does die to the bomb, but the team gets the Baron, and then the chase comes in. Bjergsen, Zilean slow, finds the Nautilus, allows them to get the Yuumi root there with the ultimate, and then the speed on Broken Blade with the zoomies, with the E for himself, chases down another one, and they eventually, as you know, find Rush at the secondary turret for another kill for themselves. Still, the Baron power play remains negative.
I was trying to remember, there's one Baron left by the looks of things there. I think Solo's still got the buff, but not what Echo Fox were hoping for after winning that team fight and securing the Baron.
All right, this is what I'm hoping for. I like games like this where it's just all over the place, going crazy, looking for the extra kills. Objective is kind of an afterthought there. Meanwhile, mid lane, everybody gonna group back up. Side lanes are kind of static right now as they're holding about even. Top side will be pushing slightly for Echo Fox, so they're trying to use this single Baron buff you talked about on Solo to get some momentum here through the mid lane, but River is hotly contested.
And for such a slow, honestly like 20-ish minutes in this game, now both ADs have 3 items, and I think every team is comfortable looking for a team fight here. Obviously, TSM have to stave off the Baron up cannons, but still have poke, still have all their ultis back up and ready. Everyone's just hanging out in mid lane. Fox want to try and grab another turret, but more preferably, if they can find a pick, they'd much prefer that.
All right, let's see if we can push up here. Looks like not too much deep vision for Echo Fox, as you can see in the vision toggle. So they're going to rotate down to the bottom side where their minions are already at that very weakened turret. This is the last outer turret and kind of the easiest standing gold that's left on the map for Echo Fox to take. So they will get some of the gold here with the Baron buff. Almost back to even. TSM looking for the fight, though.
Fight brewing. Rush with the GA, playing very aggressively throughout the jungle, gets out of there, but the rest of Fox have to disengage. Crowning projectile finds no slow, but Sven dashing in onto Solo. There's the final chapter down, but the angle's not quite right, and Rush turns out the lights. Now goes in for the re-engage on a Broken Blade, but backs out as well. Greg now looking at the onslaught of Shadows, goes on Stopple in the ultimate. Rush is the GA, he's the first target that managed to take down Greg. Now Yasui finds the first takedown, has got the reset off the Worldbender as Sven gets hooked by Arkalo! But still dashes out, gonna be safe for now as Broken Blade getting it donked, but goes into stasis and outplays the Aatrox, and Sven with the Zilean behind him with the ulti now ticking away. Having to keep playing aggressive. Rush still has his GA. Sven now resurrects with the hook from Haklo, finds it onto Bjergsen, but Bjergsen is just gonna flash out. Now the GA goes down to Solo, dives back in with the bombs on, and he's dead to Sven. Sven continuing to play cleanup, lost too far forward. Gonna make it a double kill, gonna be a triple kill.
But damn, these are some fun team fights, Pastry. I hope you're having fun there, buddy. TSM actually on the 3rd re-engage are able to find the extra kills here. What a back and forth down the bottom lane. Whew. Take a breather, my friend. Whew.
Team fight comes with Zilean, I guess. You know what? Let's watch this whole thing again.
Let's start it all over. What a fun ride it was, right? We had Sven initiate, and you talk about the Yuumi ultimate used, so that is Echo Fox backing up. But then Rush decides to go in with the Nocturne ultimate, then thinks that's a bad idea as Greg charges in. He wants to immune the knock up there with his own ultimate, but he's too far away from Bjergsen. That then swings it into Echo Fox's territory because Yasui gets a reset on the Aatrox ultimate, so he goes ham. He's thinking all in, guys, but he gets completely outplayed there as the timing just goes out. So once he goes down, Sven then gets a Zilean ult. He can charge for her. Hako finds the hook to re-engage, but that is ill-advised as Sven on the Lucian kiting and Yuumi just popping around here. I think Smoothie did such a good job of really the skill expression on Yuumi, getting on and off, making use of the passive with the extra shields coming through, keeping the members up and speed boosting people to allow for the continued chase. What a ride it has been. And there you go. That is a visual of this game.
Yeah, this is the theme park ride that we've been on for 32 minutes. As Fox vs TSM, still a nail-biter. TSM technically up in goal, but it's really all about how they execute the fights, and they have been pretty spectacular as Fox still grouped up, maybe looking for another engage. Lights out again. Target in the front side is Grig, who ults away, but Broken Blade re-initiates and takes down Hakalo. But there's again into the stasis, but Sven gonna kite away there with the final chapter on, but Solo with a great Zonyas of his own. Able to immune the front side of the fight. Now Yasui wants to go in, but he can't quite find the chain as Lost takes poke as well. There's an Infernal Drake up for grabs. Baron's up as well. Very important objectives for the teams to want to find around, but Sven undeterred with the Yuumi attached on.
Oh my goodness, they're going back in
again, but he's going to try and find the Dark. Not going to grab it as Sven on a rampage gets another kill.
TSM just have too much control over the speed of the game with Yuumi, Zoomies, and Bjergsen Zilean. I think that is just too much for these melee champions to deal with. Bjergsen has been insane with the Zilean, slowing down Yasui on his initiations, then speeding up Sven to go try and punish him. They find the catch, they make use of the extra movement abilities, and their rewards will be Baron.
Gonna be a trade here. Echo Fox will go down to the Infernal Drake, but TSM collect the big prize after winning that team fight. Baron goes over. TSM will reset and try their own hand at the Baron power play.
I really do think one of the reasons this is so fun to watch, movement speed is one of the stats that has the highest skill expression because it still is in the hands of the pilot of that champion. So let's take another look at how it started out. The bombs go down. Sven does use the stopwatch himself to take away the Hakuo ultimate, and that opens up Broken Blade. Level 16 Kennen goes in, kills Hakuo, but the Bjergsen ultimate this time around on Sven used pretty early, so TSM has to kite. Then he gets the slow onto Yasui though to time out the Aatrox ultimate reset there. Now he has no way to get back up, and Sven goes ham. They land the Yuumi Q for the slows. Bjergsen speeds him back up, and they do have to kite back on Yasui because the burst damage would have been there. But they once again find the extra kill. Now they've got the Baron. The tides has swung again, and it is TSM knocking on the doors of Echo Fox base.
Looking to break down that base right now. As all ultis are back up for Fox. Not sure they want to try and pick a fight, but they're probably going to have to make a stand at some point around one of these inhibitors. Perhaps they'll let one go. See teams often be okay with losing one, but you make a mistake here in a team fight and the game ends.
And you can see what Sven's doing there. He's not attacking the minions at all. He wants to try and sync up this top lane minion wave with the mid lane, but now they're going
in. Lost forced to flash out of the way, but that's TSM going to start the fight again. Rock's going to dive in on the back line once more as Hakuo tied up in the front side will be slain by Sven's. Broken Blade over the top, which is Chewy. Finds a double knock up there, but it's just retreat right now for Echo Fox's Sven. He's just so aggressive. He's got a GA, he's got a Yuumi, he's got a Zilean, he's got a double kill, he's got a triple kill, he's gonna resurrect, and is gonna have a shot at the Penta solo. Gonna be forced back to the fountain. Sven tanking tower aggro. Gonna kite back around towards the real objective as TSM still haven't finished up the turret, but they'll now grab it. They'll take the inhib, and Sven is going off this game.
Oh my goodness, Sven is absolutely destroying on this speed composition from TSM. They're making Nautilus look like an outdated champion. It's so slow. They're knocking on Nexus.
Broken Blade burning down again. Resurrect there, but that's going to be two dead. TSM find the Resurrects. They find the Ace, and they'll take down the Nexus turrets as well. A really thrilling game here between the two sides, but it's TSM that come out on top.
Oh. Can we get a pro view of Sven on the Lucian there? That was actually so fun to watch with all of the speed ups. We had
side by side with the Yuumi and just get very confused watching those team fights.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it just because there was so much control of speed with the Zilean speed ups and slow downs and the Yuumi, it did make a lot of the champions on Echo Fox's side look like they were outdated. Like Nautilus trying to land these slow hooks and walking around with a very low base movement speed, and even the ultimate got negated multiple times by stasis, just multiple stopwatches and people using immunities. This seemed like so many answers on the side of TSM were actually used very well, and that did require a high level of execution.
And for that, we asked them before the game started, we wanted to see more coordination from this team. I think even not just the team fights, which did look very well executed, but little things like everyone seeing a play top and then going straight to the Drake. Like, that's not the cleanliness that we've seen from TSM in these opening weeks, but it is the thing that we expect. So here against Echo Fox, it is nice to see them kind of tighten things up a bit.
Definitely a fun game to watch. We've got two more lined up for you.
That's true. This was supposed to be the boring game, but that was anything but. Let's send it down to Riv, who's standing by for an interview with TSM's top laner.
Thank you, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by Broken Blade after their victory. A hard-fought one at that. Coming into this season, actually last season, you guys were pretty vocal about the ending. Coming out into the summer, it's been a little bit of a turmoil position for you guys. What seems to be the problem that's not allowing TSM to find those wins?
I'm not sure yet. I think there's a lot of teams that didn't find their rhythm right now. TL is a really good example. They were MSI finalists and now they lost 2 games. I think it's kind of the same for us, and I think coming the next weeks we will probably be more clean and have a better play.
You're definitely finding the kind of 30-minute pass fights that TSM has always been so strong at. What's kind of been your focus to bring that top lane strength to the team to make sure that even the early game goes correct?
My goal is to be more and more consistent every game. I'm still doing a lot of mistakes, and I'm still trying to learn from every enemy that I can. For example, Impact. I learned so much from him. Just in general, I try to learn as much as I can, not only from my team, but also from the enemy team. And still have a lot to learn and trying to look for it, yeah.
Right on. Broken Blade, thank you so much for sharing that insight. Congrats on the win. Yeah, we'll get that in there. We're going to throw it to the State Farm analyst desk to break down that TSM victory.
Thank you very much, Riv. Broken Blade there citing the slow start for a number of our top teams from spring, TSM included, but they did pick up the victory here to move to 2-2. We got to kick it off with the conversation that has surrounded TSM all year long, which is the jungle position. Of course, this time around, Grig coming back in for the Sunday game. He now boasts a 2-0 record as compared to Acadian's 0-2.
They're all playing Hecarim, too, which is even easier for us to make this comparison.
And I think he had another good early game. This time around with a little less clear setup with it's a Sona Terra comp designed to protect me. They still have the Zillion, they still have the Yuumi, so there is a lot of support for him. But a lot of these plays were kicked off on his own initiative as well before team fights started breaking out. So Grig has looked good, and TSM was slamming this game as a whole. I mean, their bot lane had a big CS lead as they should with the Lucian and Yuumi. Top lane was getting pushed in a little bit. Solo was having a good laning performance, but they were able to go up there and get involved. They also killed Yasui when he was in the side lane. So a really good game all around for Grig, handed them a big mid-game lead.
Right, exactly. I mean, looking at results, you're saying, hey, Grig seems to be working with the team better in some way, shape, or form. I do want to take a look at some of the team fights because, as you mentioned, Mark, yes, TSM had control, at least in the laning phase, but this game extended quite a bit with team fights going in both directions throughout the match.
And this fight was a little bit later into the game, and the Nautilus ult kicks things off with the paranoia as well, but a nice little stopwatch out of Lucian buys some time, and this is where the strength of the TSM composition comes in. Yes, you lost a lot of members, but the kiting that's going to come out of Sven, Bjergsen, and then Yuumi, which, yeah, it looks like it's a 3v5, but that's a 2-person Lucian that continues to chase relentlessly. And the thing that was surprising about Fox was this is not the only time that this happened, where it was a single member trying to turn instead of a coordinated effort.
Yeah, for me, the most telling thing was the length of all of these fights, the amount of time that elapsed, and largely TSM's comp will succeed the longer the team fight goes as compared to Echo Fox. And so you saw Echo Fox wanting to pull that trigger, wanting to zero people out. It just is, if you couldn't 100-0, people leaving on 5% health with those triple oceans and then re-entering the fight with Zillion and Yuumi speed spelled disaster for Echo Fox.
Yeah, and it was good to see a Yuumi comp really work out. I think the only game we saw it lost, but
Biofrost did have the opener with it, which won, but yes, we did see a couple
I'm okay
games.
Not seeing a Yuumi comp anymore.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I thought it was a good use of it, though. Lucian having a ton of mobility, you're just further going into where your comp is strong. Sometimes you try and balance out the points of a comp. Sometimes you just go, we're all in on speed, engage, and utility, because even Hecarim makes great use of all of that. So I really like the comp, and the triple ocean Drake was just kind of like the icing on top for when you manage to disengage, wait 8-10 seconds, and suddenly you're all full again.
I mean, the Yuumi really is kind of like a Lulu in the sense that anything that you pair with it turns into a hyper carry, even if it's a Lucian, even if it's a Sivir, it's going to be amazing in the mid game just because you have that heal, the mobility, that extra damage.
Echo Fox still definitely leaving something to be desired when it comes to the way they're operating as a 5-man unit. If we are going to call out one, bright point for the team, of course, that would be Solo. We have been giving him a lot of praise throughout these early weeks of the split, but once again, as you mentioned, Mark, I think he put up a fairly solid individual performance. It just isn't enough to be the difference maker in each and every game.
Yeah, I think it was one of those games where he had that great team fight at Baron, which made it feel like they could get back into the game, but it stalled out a little too long. The double TP with the Yuumi, something that's very easy to lose track of. And then they got the Baron, but lost a ton of kills. And the fights they took from then on, because they didn't have enough tools to actually lock people down and kill them, they ended up losing.
What I would like to see more from Solo, I would like to see him have better synergy with Rush. That gank in the top lane that got turned right away from Rush, that was something that should not have happened. You cannot afford to give these leads to champions like Hecarim. You have to slow the pace down and go for more calculated plays. And this continues to be the trend where Solo gets these leads on his own, and it's not necessarily with a coordinated jungle effort or somebody roaming to help him out. So I like Rush coming back, but I think that he needs to focus a little bit more on making sure that these plays, every single member wants to be on board.
Back over in the TSM camp, give me a declaration on Jungle Watch. How should we be feeling about these two players and whether or not TSM should be moving closer to a decision?
Well, the thing you need to realize when you look at these numbers, because they're going to be pretty Grig favored, is that he was playing up against the 6th and 7th place team. It was CLG and Echo Fox here. Acadian went up against TL and FlyQuest. So much stiffer competition for Acadian, but I still think it's fair to say, even just looking at the games, Grig has been performing better on the Hecarim and seems to have the leg up right now in the race for the position.
Right, by the eye test, Grig definitely seems to be performing better within the
Numbers
game.
back it up.
The only curious statistic here for me that is in favor of Acadian is that kill participation. Now, we might have to dig deeper into, how many kills are they really getting in their losses.
Right.
So, of course, he's a part of all of them kind of a thing versus Grig. And winning games, sometimes solo kills happen here or there.
As well as that being a Hecarim Sonateric composition that makes it really easy for you to have a very high kill participation. Grig ran one just like it before on opening week, and this time around it was not a Sonateric composition. So there's a lot more opportunity for the rest of the team to make plays on their own without involving the jungler.
So do you just get the sense that with another week or two, Grig is the direction that TSM is going to go? Sentiment feels that way.
I'm an Acadian fan, and I feel like it's kind of this slow, precipitous drop-off right now, where it went from okay, you were in the finals, you were the guy. Off-season hits, it's a position battle now. Grig so far has the better start. It's so point by point seems to be slipping away.
I'm gonna add a little angle to this, which is that I think that the answer is no because of the champions that they're playing. Nobody else is playing Hecarim jungle, right? It's only TSM that's really prioritizing this Hecarim jungle right now.
C9's played it.
C9 played it in the Sonateric composition, but no one plays it nearly as much as TSM is doing it right now, just back to back to back. Acadian was great on the rec side, on these other kinds of champions. So now they're putting him on the champion that's a little bit more uncomfortable with him. I know that sometimes he likes to run the Ghost, the blue smite, not necessarily the ignite, the red smite Hecarims that Grig often favors. So there's a big difference in the champion pool here that I think is favoring Grig that skews this decision.
Do you risk distorting the identity of your team, though, right? When you had a player who found success on champions like you mentioned, the Rek'Sais, the slightly more aggressive champions for Acadian, and now you're, in order to compare or figure things out, you're trying to take two junglers and make them kind of the same person with the same identity, and by the same token, you're skewing everyone's perception on the team about how to play with this guy.
Yeah.
At one point, I played with Acadian when he played these champions, and so I knew when he came top to gank my lane as Broken Blade, I would play X way. Well, you've now taken Acadian's identity away from him, and now I don't know how to play with him. And, so I do wonder, again, to some degree, it's all speculation. I must be very clear, what this really is doing internally to, for the team and for each of these players individually when they have to deal with so many changing variables.
Well, I mean, it's also the thing where this is a small sample size.
Right.
It's 4 games, 2 for each. Maybe they're not playing 50 Hecarim games and scrims, and that's all they're doing. Maybe they're definitely getting more data points. So what we see is not obviously everything. So I would be surprised if they're you're all playing Hecarim and Sejuani every single game until we know which of you two is better at that. I hope that's not the thing.
I do too.
I trust Zix and Goldman are smarter than that.
Yeah.
And it is a more nuanced approach.
Either way, sitting at 2-2, it is far from disaster for TSM here on the outset of the summer split. Golden Guardians, though, they challenge Cloud9 after the break. Following Game 5,